Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Voices for Change 2.0, the only podcast that focuses on mental health while mixing in movies, music, books, sports, and pop culture. Here are your hosts, Rebecca and Joe Lombardo.
The producer, it sounds like Rebecca and Joe are on a bad line again. We have them on the phone, but I can't hear them. I'm going to have them recall in. We have our guest, Nicole, on the line, and the service a little wacky today here on Blog Talk Radio because it seems as though the timing's off a little bit too. So hope you'll stick around for just a second. We're going to have Joe and Rebecca call right back in, and we'll play a quick song here and be back in just a couple of seconds, okay? Here's Damien Escobar with Fire to the Rain.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on Voices for Change 2.0. We're sorry for the delay in start. We had some little technical difficulties. So we're just going to keep moving forward here.
Yep. Sorry. I hope you guys can hear us okay. Otherwise, curse you, gremlins.
Oh, good Lord.
But
Grant, and assuming that we don't have any more Jehovah's Witnesses at the front door, we should be able to get through this interview pretty quickly.
Yeah, because that was a fun thing that happened too.
Yeah.
Just sitting here trying to get things up and running, and all of a sudden, ding dong! I go running down there, think it's my next door neighbor.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
And not bagging on Jehovah's Witnesses or anything. Just bad timing.
Yeah.
And
a no soliciting sign on the door.
Well, yeah, there's that. There's that too. But anyway, welcome to the last Saturday in September for the year of our Lord 2018.
Oh my goodness.
I am in high spirits because it's finally fall. It's finally cool out. I am finally comfortable and not sweating profusely. I was going to be a lot more graphic, and I decided against that.
Yeah, our guest has got it a lot worse than we do right now.
Yeah, she does, because she's down in Arizona where they're still having triple-digit weather, and I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
Because that's just a whole lot of sweating.
We might actually be able to take the air conditioner out early this year.
Don't jinx us.
All right, so today, let's get it started here. We are talking with a blogger, writer, and an advocate for mental health. I connected with her on Twitter, and we did some work on some blog posts and things like that. And she's really a huge support to the community on Twitter. I see her every day going at it, and I just really wanted to have her on because I respect the work that she's doing, and her focus is on self-care and wellness, essentially, which we'll get into. But, we're very excited to talk to her today. And so please welcome to our show, Nicole. The show?
Nicole.
Nicole Mackey. There
we
go.
Welcome to the show, Nicole Mackey.
Yeah.
Gotta slow down, man.
Thank you.
I was on a roll there. I couldn't stop. Couldn't hit the brakes.
Yeah, you have to slow down in order to excel.
Yes, dear.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you guys doing today?
We're befuddled, but we're
You're
good.
befuddled? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yes, I am significantly hotter than you are today.
Yeah.
What aren't we befuddled about, darling?
Yeah, I actually woke up cold.
Yeah.
To the bone. Cold.
Oh, wow.
We left a window open overnight for airflow, and I think it got down to like 48 or something.
46.
Was it 46?
Yeah, it was 46. I went downstairs to get an apple. She's like, I'm cold. I'm like, well, sure you are. It's 46 out. I had to turn the furnace on. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be needing my furnace for quite a while.
Yeah, I was going to say, a furnace is this thing that warms up your house. You might not be aware of that being in Arizona.
You use the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just open the windows and stand there.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. It's heat.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Well, if you don't have any questions for us, we're going to go ahead and jump in.
Okay.
All righty. So first question is, so we ask almost all of our guests, and it's, where does your mental health journey begin?
For me, I can go all the way back to when I was 12 years old was the first time I became suicidal.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was abused by my stepfather, and I'm pretty sure that's what triggered it. But I clearly remember laying on the floor of my father's trailer, and everyone was asleep, and I was looking up at the ceiling, and I was going through a list in my head of different ways I could kill myself that wouldn't make a mess or inconvenience anyone.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a rather extreme thought for a 12-year-old.
Now, did you go on to college at all?
Not after high school, my parents refused to fill out the FAFSA. And by the time I was old enough to file as an independent, I was married and having babies.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because we get a lot of guests that come on the show and talk about how they started to realize what was going on with them about college age, and a lot of them ended up having difficulties around like 18 and in 19, 20 areas is when it kind of started for them.
Yeah.
I got married at 19, and I had my first one just before I turned 21, and that was my focus for a long time. And I had horrible mood swings and terrible bouts with depression, and I went untreated until my mid-30s when they started to treat me for depression. And then when I was 38, they changed the diagnosis to bipolar 2.
Okay, yeah, that's what I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically I went without any kind of medication or treatment until my mid-30s.
Do you think that possibly some of what you were going through was sort of a postpartum type situation once you had your child?
My cousin was diagnosed with that. Mm-hmm. And that certainly could have played a part, but it just never really occurred to me.
Right. Yeah, it's not something you plan. You just kind of focus on what has to be done next and do it. And you don't always think a lot about what's going on inside your head, because if you start to, you'll get lost in there and you'll never be able to stop. Right.
At least that's how it was for me. I kept trying to push all this stuff down for the longest time, and also as being part of a church community, unfortunately, they were not supportive of my mental health, and I was told that I wasn't spiritual enough, that if I prayed more, if I studied more, if I volunteered more, I would be better. And I tried that. I tried that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always...
those are all good things, and you'll see those things in my wellness plan, because they are good supportive things if you're in the right community. But they are not a cure for mental illness. They will not manage all your symptoms. You cannot rely on that one thing alone. A wellness plan has many legs to support it. It doesn't rely on just one. If you're trying to rely on just one, you will be so off balance.
Like a table.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about your family once you were finally diagnosed? How did they handle that? Were they like, oh, well, that explains a lot, or were they really supportive, or, what was that?
Mostly they ignore it. If we're talking about my family of origin, my siblings, my parents, mostly it's not discussed. It didn't happen. My stepmother, would try to be supportive, but at the same time, I very clearly remember growing up the discussions at the kitchen table about my grandmother and her nervous breakdown and how weak she was, and there's a lot of stigma against mental illness in my family. A lot. Then a few years after that, my father was diagnosed as bipolar. And so it got a little bit easier. Yeah, it got a little bit easier with them after that. I think their understanding expanded a little more, or, it was dad. It was the patriarch. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, they can't really ignore it then, can they?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
So.
And it was easier to ignore me. I moved away.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Good plan.
Yeah, there's always that,
Sometimes.
It's like they say, you can't pick your family, you can pick your friends, but sometimes you have to distance yourself from family. Sometimes family can be the strongest thing in the world for you, but sometimes that can be the most detrimental thing in the world for you. And you have to put up walls and barriers for your own sanity. You know, we've seen it.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes. Toxic relationships can't really work in your life. There's no way to make a toxic relationship work unless both people get help. And if one person is just staying in that toxic mode all the time, at the very least, I think you need to limit your contact with them to, maybe major holidays and things of that nature, because that wears on you, on not just your mental health, but your physical health.
Indeed it does.
It really does. We actually we're even limiting it a little bit more with major holidays, because for our point of view, it would, just thinking about like say Thanksgiving, for example, coming up and having to spend time with people that cause you distress normally, that can certainly cause, panic and anxiety at the thought of even being in the same room with them.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And the one thing that was such a bummer.
Yeah, that was my concession. Oh, go ahead.
All right. I was just saying that's kind of a bummer with my situation, because we ended up just doing things just for my father. And if the other people that lived in the house tagged along with him to come over for movie night or whatever, it was what it was. But, the rocky relationships seemed to be the predominant relationships in my life. And I seem
I understand that.
I seem to kind of attract negativity at times, especially from my own family and, a little bit of yours.
Yeah, a little bit. Not yours, Nicole.
Well, if she knew them, she would, because that's how they are. That's just how they are. What are you going to do about it? But, I'm actually in full agreement with you, Joe, because that's what we had to do. I was just kind of making a concession for the people who don't want to cut ties with their family completely. Limit it to a couple times a year then. Don't put yourself up against that constantly over and over. It's not worth it. It's not worth your mental health to create a fake picture of family unity.
Exactly.
It's just not.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
So talk to us about how you feel about the stigma surrounding mental illness.
Well, I faced a lot of it just within my own family. So if you expand that to the community at large, wow, it is a scary thing to be an individual with a mental illness, because let me tell you, before you get diagnosed, all you hear is the negative stuff about the crazy guy who shot up a school, or about the nutso woman downtown walking around in her underwear playing the kazoo. That's all you ever hear are the extreme things and the negative thoughts of how they're just lazy and weak and want attention. And then the doctor walks in and says, hey, this is you.
Yeah.
Whoa, what do you do with that? That whole diagnosis comes with an instant weight on your shoulders of negativity that you don't get with other diseases. If you have cancer, people rally around you and support you. If you are diagnosed with a mental illness, you walk out of that office feeling like the whole world has collapsed on your head, and you don't know who you dare tell, because what if they don't want anything to do with you and they push you away and are afraid to be around you because you have a mental illness, because all you've heard and seen are the horrible, bad, and negative. So we've got to find ways to bring positive stories of people with mental illness into the mainstream consciousness, and I'm trying to do that by including characters in my books and making them balanced, making them so that their mental illness is a characteristic, but it's not their defining characteristic, and my plot is not based on the fact that they have a mental illness. It's just one more facet of who a character is, and I can show characters behave negatively, behave positively, be heroic, be tragic, whatever I want within that framework. But they're real people. They're real. They're three-dimensional. And one of those dimensions is a mental illness. And if people can see someone acting normal,
right,
but having a very obvious mental illness,
mm-hmm.
you know, and by normal I don't mean standards of neurotypical people's normal behavior. When I say normal, I mean doing normal human things, cooking a meal,
right.
going to a park, having a job at McDonald's or Kinko's or whatever.
Right.
Normal.
Exactly. You know,
we are normal people.
I love that that's a focus for you with character development, that it's not what's driving the plot, it's just in there kind of along for the ride.
Yep.
That's actually kind of my worldview on Beck, you know, is when, you know, as long as we've been together, well, yeah, she has bipolar and, you know, she goes through this, but that's not her, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's we might have possibly a technical issue. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, getting you know, if we lose you, we'll call right back in. Because we just had something flash up on our screen and Scott's typing something out to us now. But
okay.
Anyway, getting back to my point was, you know, I look at her and say, well, this is something that she deals with, but, you know, she's also this incredible, funny, intelligent, beautiful woman that I'm lucky enough to have in my life, you know. And so when she has her bad days, we get through it together. When she has her good days, we revel in that, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It shapes who she is to a degree. It colors the portrait a little bit. It adds a highlight here or a shadow there to make things stand out in more relief, but it doesn't define who you are in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Exactly.
It's just one little piece of who you are. And, you know, once you get it stable, you can actually access all kinds of creativity.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You know, I get a lot of poetry and story ideas when I'm in a mixed state and I'm out of whack and not doing well. I do.
Yeah.
I write a lot of things down then. But and a lot of people think that if you take an antidepressant, it will kill your creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you, when I'm stable, I can take those crazy ideas I wrote in a notebook when I was not stable, and I can turn them into something beautiful and entertaining and enlightening for the world. And I can't do that when I'm up and down on the rocket ship all the time. I can't. I can't structure a story in a good logical format, you know, that the reader can follow. It starts jumping around and being not quite coherent. So I need stability to practice my art. It does not kill my art. It gives it back to me.
You find a balance.
Yes.
You know, that's a good way to look at it. Is you find a balance. You've got all this creativity, and they talk, you know, over the centuries, really, all these different artists and composers that, you know,
had mental afflictions.
Yeah, had a quote touch of madness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you see the you know, what they've created, you know, be it paintings or sculptures or, you know, pieces of music, you know, what have you. And, you know, for you to be able to touch on that with your creativity and then have a means of balancing it out when you are stable, that just furthers you along. That makes a huge difference for you, because I struggle with that. Being a musician, sometimes my creativity is I can say it's sometimes stifled because of the medications that I'm on, so it takes a little longer for me to work through that. But I know if I wasn't taking them now, I would be a complete train wreck.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I wouldn't be producing anything because I would be managing fires all day long.
Yeah.
Because I would just be a wreck. I mean, to be honest with you, there's a very good chance I would be out on the street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's just reality. I'm not, because I'm using my wellness plan, and it's keeping me stable. And I'm trying to build my platform. And just this week, I decided that it's so secondary to what I really want to do. So now I'm focusing more on what I love, which is something I'm really happy that you noticed about me, Rebecca, that I just try to encourage people when I get online.
Absolutely.
I'm so touched that you noticed that, because that's just what I want to do. I want to help people understand their illness. I want to help people understand their loved ones who have the illness. And I just want to make them feel like they are worthy and important and normal and valuable. That's just really what I want to do. And if I can publish books and have a blog and do all that stuff while I encourage everybody, then that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of I'm in sort of the same path as you, in a sense. I know what you mean.
Very much.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think that's what drew me towards you and you towards me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like-minded.
And using my hashtag doesn't hurt either. Wink, wink, wink.
Shameless plug.
Yes, I did totally steal your hashtag, shamelessly and unapologetically.
Oh no, steal away. We've got to take.
Yeah, I kind of thought you wouldn't mind.
No. We've actually got to take our first break. So on the other side, we'll be there. But I Love How You Love Me. By Jay Knight. That was a misconstrued message there. I Love How You Love Me by Jay Knight is next.
That was great.
When I fall, I just know that
Wow, that was abrupt. Welcome back to Voices for Change 2.0. I'm Joe.
Expecting that.
No. I'm Joe. This is Rebecca sitting next to me. Hi, baby.
Hi, honey.
And she sounds so cute when she says that. And on the line, just in case you're tuning in, we have the wonderful, lovely, and talented Nicole Mackey. Hiya.
Thank you. Hi.
So we've mentioned briefly over the course of the show that about your wellness plan. Please tell us, take this opportunity to tell us all about it.
Okay. I intend to expand on this over the coming year, but where I got started with it was basically the idea that there are several areas of your life that you need to keep healthy in order for you to stay in balance, and especially to help keep your mental illness stable and in balance. So I wrote an article about it, and I created a little worksheet that I give away for free on my website, but basically just breaks your life down into physical, mental, emotional, and social areas, and spiritual. And those are the legs of my wellness plan. If you are taking care of your physical and you're taking care of your mental by, taking your medication, tracking your moods, going to therapy, learning new coping skills, taking care of your emotional needs by spending time with friends or family who are not toxic, maybe having pets, or watching a funny movie.
get warning labels for people that say non-toxic.
They need little neon signs on their head.
Right, really.
Too much vacancy. Okay. Then we have social. So that's going to be things, you actually get out of your house to do, unless you're like me and limited on that a lot, and then you get online and do it. But it's, friends, volunteering, having hobbies. I have a knitting group I go to when I can get to it. It's social, having some relationships and interactions with other human beings. And then spiritual, and really that can cover, well, it covers a corporate shared experience and a personal type experience, but that can apply to any type of religious practice, really. Christianity definitely fits into that easily. You go to church on Sundays, you pray, you memorize your scripture at home. That's your part of your spiritual work in Christianity, but really any type of religious group, any type of religious expression, from Wiccan to Muslim, can fit into a corporate shared activity and a personal private activity. And so attending to your spiritual needs is an important part of keeping yourself healthy. And people don't always think about that. They think, I'm taking my meds, I'm going to therapy. What more do I need? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. You need these 5 areas. You need to make sure you're paying attention to each one of them, because they're all important to keeping you stable and healthy and happy.
Right.
And that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see with my peeps on Twitter. I want to see you stable, healthy, and happy.
Well, I try. I don't know how well I'm doing this year, but
we just keep trying. This gives us places that we can take note and that we can focus on if we see ourselves slipping in one or the other. I don't know about you, but I have this problem where I get so focused on what needs to be done, because I had to focus that way for years. I was a homeschooling mom who worked part-time and ran a household. I had to have that mindset. But what happens is I'm so busy focusing on the to-do lists and the appointments and the tasks, I don't notice when things start to slip.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in my bed with a box of Kleenex and tears running down my face, wondering how I got here. If I have this wellness plan, if I remember to take a look at it even, say, once a month and see how I'm doing, keeping those areas balanced, that keeps me so much more stable than if I just go at the task list.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Trying to ride the wave of what's going on in life, you miss a lot. Life passes you by because you're focusing on, task A followed by task B followed by task C, and you've got these blinders on, and being able to stop and actually look at the world around you and take in everything is, that's important. And I think it's actually lost these days.
Well, another thing about that too is that people find their stability through routine.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
And when you've got the to-do list out and you're, ticking away at all the ones that you're getting done, it feels like it's sort of like a rush. It's sort of like, wow, I did this, and 2 days ago I was a crumpled mess in my bed, but I got up and did this. So that's really kind of how I try to focus on self-care, is that accomplishing goals is definitely, definitely a part of it, and it's definitely something that I'm at a point that I'm at right now. I won't lie to you, I've been struggling. I've really been struggling a lot. Haven't been online as much, and it wasn't bad. I needed to take a little breather.
Break. Yeah.
We do sometimes.
For me, it's been more. It feels like a lot of days I'm on autopilot, and that's like, I guess the point where I was going with it is, you have to take yourself off of autopilot and engage in life,
Yeah, which is something that I'm finding quite difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy.
It sounds like a meme, Joe.
It does.
That needs to be a meme. No, it needs to be a meme. I'm not making fun of you at all. That's what people notice, You can make fun of memes all you want. People see them. So if you want people to hear your message, give them a picture to look at the same time.
I love me some memes.
Yeah.
Right? Memes are fun.
I'm good for that. Yeah, they are. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, for me, I'm, get up, get cleaned up, go to work, come home,
I don't know
dinner,
how he does
go to
it.
bed.
He's been at this company
15 years.
15 years.
Wow.
And I don't know how he does. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. We had 2 major moves, in
over the course of our marriage.
Right, exactly. And they both were when you worked there, but he was nearby.
No, one of them was when I was at International.
Yeah, well, we were in the apartment when you were in International.
Yeah, but
that was one big move, and the next big move was into the trailer, and then the third big move was here into our house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very stressful, and it's a long way to go to work. But I think you're glad you do it, huh?
Yeah, it's a good job. I got a good handle on it, I think. But
yeah, you did. We'll be open. You did start on Prozac.
Yeah,
taking that.
I needed to. I reached.
Knowing when you need to that's the battle, man.
Well, he had a good example to learn from.
This is true, But I reached a point. I was struggling earlier in the year, and I recognized I was going down a spiral, and I went and talked to my doctor, and I've been on Prozac since I think March, and it's helped. I'm
good.
I've only got one negative thing to it, and it's that I can't shut off the music in my head. I don't know what that's about, but I don't dance. But I'll be, there's a lot of background noise, and I gotta, living in the moment and being mindful of the moment. I'm struggling with. So I gotta find my way through that. But as far as the self-dialogue that was self-defeating, the Prozac has helped put a damper on that, and that's what I needed, and that's why
Excellent.
I'm on it, because the thoughts I was having when I wasn't on it were not shiny, happy thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Nicole, just hopping on to one of our next questions, because we have a few written out for you, but I'm not entirely sure we're going to have time for all of them. So we're gonna skip over a couple.
Okay.
I was wondering, what advice did you give to someone that is newly diagnosed with a mental illness?
I think the very, very first thing I would say to them is, this isn't abnormal. You are not defective. You just have a condition like any other medical condition, and you can treat it and you can learn about it. And you should learn as much as you can. And, listen to the people around you that know about these things. Get some information. It's a whole lot less scary when you have information.
That's true. Very true.
But yeah, I would basically tell them, you are okay. You will get through this and be fine. Learn what you need to know. Get started.
Right.
It's going to take you a long time. Yeah.
Do your research and avoid WebMD. Those are the things that I would say. By the time you get done on MDB, it's going to tell you that your hair is going to fall out and you lose your ass.
The only time I go on WebMD is when I want to know the side effects of my medicine.
That I'm not even sure is accurate. They come up with these crazy things that are going to happen to you.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to get them for a response at this point.
I've been reading prescription inserts forever, and buried in there, they have all these wackadoo things that can happen to you that happen to like 0.1% of the people in the trial, which means one person.
Yeah.
And WebMD puts those right up, in the front in your face and scares you half to death. It's like, dude, those don't happen to hardly anybody. What are you doing here?
Yeah, that only happened to Dave, man. Knock it off.
Dave ain't here.
Dave's not here, man. Nicole, do you know who I'm referencing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she knows.
Okay.
You don't know.
Explain it to me later. Then.
Yeah. No, it's Cheech and Chong.
The
Cheech and Chong thing.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dave's
man,
not here.
Dave, let me in. No, Dave's not here.
No, Dave's not here.
Well, this show is really degenerated.
Hey, you know what? Nicole, if you ever make it back to Michigan, you and I are hanging out because you're a riot.
Right on. I am down for that.
So we talked about advice that you would give for someone who's newly diagnosed. What about their spouse or family members? What would you say to them?
What would, in an ideal world, what would
you say to them?
I would also tell them to get as much information as they could and to educate themselves. But I would tell them to remember that while they're being supportive, take care of themselves too, because you can't pour from an empty pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care for spouses is really important. It really is.
It is.
Because
go ahead.
Our loved ones can start to feel like they can start to feel the strain of always having to support us, of always being there, of talking us down one more time, whatever it is. It can get tiring after a while. We know this. We feel bad about this. We don't want to do this to our loved ones. Just like someone with cancer doesn't want their loved ones sitting in a hospital with them for 8 hours a day, but that's darn well what we're going to do.
Right.
It can wear on them. It can wear them out. It can make them feel like they just go all the time and they never get any rest. And it's important for them to have a hobby or go jogging or whatever it is that makes them feel most themselves, that makes them feel centered in the world and able to function well. Make time for it. Make time for it. Don't get so overwhelmed with this stupid disease that you don't have any fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the important thing there. You know, and that's like I know exactly from which you speak. I do that. You know, I make it a point to take some time to play my guitar or play some video games or, you know, watch a movie with Beck or even, you know, just hang out with cats and, you know, taking a moment to appreciate the life that I do have.
Yeah.
You know, that's an important thing, you know.
We've done this before. I saw in a movie once where people were just discussing how they were in that situation, and it came so infrequently for them that when they finally felt that they were in, you know, any like positive type of situations, that you know, I can't remember what you said.
About
daily
what?
affirmations?
No.
Oh.
I
Never mind. Forgive us. A little brain fart.
Yeah, we've fallen off the tracks. We apologize for that.
Sorry about that. I've been having a little bit of mental
fog.
Fog, yeah, that would be a good way to describe it. I've been a little kind of out of sorts, and I was afraid that the show was going to go a lot worse because I would just be off on cloud nine. You guys are talking, but I just had my one only brain fart so far, so that's good.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's
hey, we're doing
45
great.
minutes in. Yeah, so it's not bad, babe. But no, it's just being able to appreciate what's going on and taking the time to really take care of yourself too. You know, that's the important thing. That's important for both someone who's battling a mental illness and someone who is there to support them.
It is.
And that's really a key thing, you know, is to take the time, you know, and make sure you're doing things like, you know, seeing friends and being sociable. You know,
it sounds like you're talking to me.
Well, kind of. Kind of am. You know.
Have you ever tried DBT or anything like that, Nicole?
I am in CBT right now, and I have to say this is the best therapy I've ever had.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Is it possible for you to do it yourself, or do you have to go to a group setting?
No, CBT is one-on-one. DBT has group and individual, but CBT is just one-on-one, which I greatly prefer.
Right.
I just don't feel comfortable in a group. I don't know why. Usually I love groups, but when it comes to that, I don't want to be in a group, not for therapy.
Right. I agree with you.
What I love about it is I've been in and out of therapy for years, and it's never really been terribly helpful. It's a lot of digging in the past and a lot of crying and a lot of going home feeling worse than when I went in.
Exactly.
And I don't really see the point of that, at least not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted something that was forward-looking and something that would give me action steps I could take. I want to feel like I'm actually working on making things better and not just digging up all the old hurts all over again.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, so in that sense, it has been very, very helpful.
Do you see, is it a medical professional that you go to see for the one-on-one?
It's a psychologist.
Oh, okay. I don't have one of those. So.
Yeah, you don't.
Well,
maybe we need to get you one.
I know when I was in Michigan, I went to, what was it, community behavioral health or something like that?
Community mental, yeah.
Yeah. I went through them, and it was less than lovely, but it got the job done, I guess. So I found a place down here that's kind of similar. It's like everybody all in one office. So I have a psychiatric nurse practitioner there, and I have my psychologist there, and I believe they have a psychiatrist on staff if you need him.
That's great.
So I can do everything in one spot. Yeah, I love it. It's a great place. All of the staff are wonderful people. The girl at the front desk is hilarious. Her and I get going every time I go in there. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I think we need to find you a good therapist there, babe.
I don't want to start therapy. End the discussion.
All right, difficult. So,
where do you see yourself in 5 years with your advocacy?
Yeah.
I am doing a lot of work on my physical health right now, which is keeping me pretty busy because it's a mess.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping that because I also have fibromyalgia, I'm hoping that will be improved enough that I can add speaking to my list of things that I do for mental health. So that's where I would like to be in 5 years.
Yeah, I wish we were closer because I could see the two of us going on stage and just taking everybody on.
That'd be awesome.
Well, we have talked about moving out west. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, that's going to be a while though.
Oh, hey, if you don't want to handle, if you don't want to handle the triple digits of Phoenix, you could live about an hour north up in the mountains, and the weather is very similar to Michigan.
I am all good with 100-degree temperatures in Phoenix.
She's fine with it.
I've actually been there. It was young, but I went there, and I loved it. I was in my element. I loved it.
Hey, you guys ought to come on down then.
We do like Las Vegas too, though. Thinking about retiring in Vegas.
There you go. I've never been there.
You've never been to Vegas?
Nope, I've never been to Vegas. My son went like 2 weekends ago. Was it? Yeah, like 2 weekends ago, my son went up there to rendezvous with his best buddy from back home and his wife. They were having a vacation out there. So he took a couple of days off and went up, and they did Cirque du Soleil, and they did a fancy restaurant, and he spent way too much money.
That's the downside about Vegas. I understand if you go there to gamble, you're going to lose money. There's no way around it. But it's frustrating when you're not even gambling, but you're just doubling down.
Peeling off.
Hemorrhaging money.
Exactly. Because it's so much fun. They have so much cool stuff to do.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, my son shares my philosophy. Oh, yeah?
No, go ahead. Your son shares your philosophy.
I was just going to say my son shares my philosophy on gambling. It is entertainment. You are going out for entertainment. You are going to spend money. So set yourself a limit and don't go above it.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all. If you want to gamble, that's how you do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
I don't like gambling. I never win.
I don't either.
I like it.
It's no fun for me.
I see the fun in it, but a piece of advice someone gave me once is all the money you plan on gambling, put that in your right pocket. Any money that you win, you put that in your left pocket. And when you're out of money in your right pocket, you walk away.
That's interesting theory.
Same thing. You set a limit. Set a limit. You know, take it out of your bank in cash and be done.
Yep.
Absolutely. So we unfortunately have reached that time where we are going to need to sign off with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great talking to you. If you could just really quickly give anyone that's interested, just belt it out there about your Twitter and Facebook and any social media.
Okay. My website is NicoleMackey.com. You can sign up for my newsletter and get the worksheet for free that we talked about today.
And it's
Twitter,
a beautiful
I
site.
am Nicole. Yeah, Twitter is @LadyHawk with an E on the end, 70X7. Or you could just look me up as Nicole Mackey. That'd be a whole lot easier. And Facebook, I have an author page under Nicole Mackey Author.
Okay.
And Mackey is Mackey.
Yes.
So,
and there's no H in Nicole.
No.
Oh.
Thank God.
No. Nicole.
I can't say anything. I spell my name ridiculously, so.
You do. But anyway, hang on the line there, Nicole, and we're going to be ending the show with John Williams' cover of Circle of Life. Have a great weekend, everybody.
See you next time.
And we'll see you next time.
From the day we arrived on the planet and blinking stepped into the sun, there's more to be seen, it can never be seen, more to do, it can never be done. Some say or be, some say live and let live. All agree have to join the stampede. You should never take more than you give in the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's the leap of faith. It's a man of by the wayside, no more door to the stars, no more there to our troubles. Don't have to live with a scar. It's far too much today. It's more to find than could ever found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps the greatest fall on the endless horizon and the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune, yeah. It's the leap of faith. It's the band of hope. Find a place on the pavement winding, yeah. In the circles of life. It's the wheel of fortune, yeah. It's a leap of faith. It's a band of hope. Find a place on the pavement winding, yeah. In the circle of life. On the pavement winding, yeah. And the circle of life.
Till the tears run down from my eyes, Lord, somebody. Ooh, somebody. Can anybody find me somebody to love?
Alexa, play hits from Queen.
Okay.
Somebody to love. Somebody.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.